30 yards. And the Saints can take the lead if they can hit the extra point.
Well, partner, that was another explosive run. And one thing I've learned in our time in this game, yes, the offensive line has to get a lot of credit, but for big runs to occur, the wide receivers have to block well downfield.
And then you have to have a good guy carrying the ball too, right?
Oh, without a doubt. You need that difference maker lugging the rock.
And no return on this one as the fair catch is signaled for and taken. Now the Vikings offense gets set to take over here. And last time out, went for it on 4th down, turned it over, gave them great field position, turned it to 6 points, so they've got to recover here, Charles.
It's amazing what one decision can do in the chain of events, right? The decision to go for it on 4th down.
Caused all of that.
It caused every bit of it, but it showed confidence. Hey, I've got confidence in you guys. Go pick it up for them. Didn't happen. Also showed confidence in the defense. They didn't pick up their end of the bargain, so now they've got to come back out and start over and rebuild that confidence.
Now Manning, and he takes a shot on the release as this will be incomplete. Looking to go back to Thomas again, and it's 3rd and 4.
Well, any caused incompletion is good for a defense, but when you add to it that you get a little hit on the quarterback, knock him to the ground, make him think a little bit, hopefully knock him off his game, especially in a game of this magnitude, this tight in the 4th quarter, got to feel pretty good as a defense.
From the gun on 3rd down, Manning, and it's complete. Henry, and he will have 1st down yardage as he's brought down at the 41.
And Brandon, from our time in college football, where receivers weren't running the traditional NFL route tree, one thing they did learn, find open areas, find soft spots, and set up and catch the ball. And I think we just saw that there.
Yeah, we saw that indeed, picking up the 1st.
And once again, leverage wins. The offensive line, lower than the defensive front, they moved them and found some good space for the guy carrying the ball.
They come up in an offset eye. Again, Peterson. Call it a gain of 7, and it gets him a new set of downs.
2nd and 1 is often an invitation to take the big shot downfield. I'll bet the offensive lineman said, are you kidding? We just get on our backs, and let's go get the 1st down. They love being physical.
And, of course, the quarterback in this situation, he's realizing time is becoming a factor. Let's see if they can get some points on the board here late. 1st down and 10 now for the offensive group. Bryant, the lone receiver, left. Manning now on 1st down. Now they set up the screen. That's complete. Oh, he trucked him. And he's going to be taken down, but not before reaching the 15-yard line.
That was a beautifully executed screen pass. Let the rushers get upfield. The blocking forms in front. Lofted it to the runner. And now, not only does he have open space in front of him, he's got an escort as well, and they pick up big yardage.
So after that big play, let's see if they can catch their defense maybe on their heels. A toss play. This is Peterson. And he stopped immediately there. And now the Saints are going to take a timeout on defense. It's just their first. They've got 2 more to use here in the final stages. Now it's Jamal Charles in the game. He gets the call here. And able to break one. And the Saints signal for another timeout. That'll leave them with just 1 remaining in this 4th quarter of play. They're trying to keep the drive going. This will be play number 8. It's 3rd and 2.
That was a good run, and it got to the 2nd level. And what I mean by that is that's...
And play is stopped here. Timeout. It's the defense calling the timeout here. That'll be their 3rd and final stoppage here as we step aside. One score down. Here we go. They're going to go for it here on 4th down. They come out here in the I. Here's Charles. And he will score. Touchdown, Vikings. Jamal Charles, a 6-yard touchdown run. And the Vikings have taken the lead here in the 4th quarter. All right, now a big 2-point conversion attempt still to come. Eli's going to throw, and this one's caught. And their 4th quarter lead grows by a couple more. So they elect to pass there on the two-point try. Sometimes could prove risky there. It worked out.
Yeah, and I love how you bring up that it can prove risky, because if you get it intercepted and they return it, that's 2 points for the defense, but not on that play.
And a pretty good return here. He'll be stopped just shy of the 25 at the 24-yard line. Out onto the field comes New Orleans. They're down here in a one-score game, but the time, it's a factor, but it's not a huge factor right now, is it?
It's really not, because this amount of time gives them a chance to run their offense, to go through play sequences. And this is what they work on every week in practice, usually on a Friday. They go over this type of a situation, late game situation. What are we going to do when we have the opportunity? They've called these plays a bunch of times. Now's their chance to execute them.
They have the opportunity now. Here's the execution. He'll look to throw. Drops it underneath. Elliott. And he's brought down after a good gain. That one goes for 24 yards. And now a first down following that long gain.
I know most of the time when the ball's in the air, you're thinking wide receiver, tight end, but running backs, they can be a big part of any passing offense nowadays.
Now a desperation. It's caught at the 10. Touchdown, New Orleans. DeAndre Hopkins in the final minute. And the Saints are within an extra point of tying this thing up.
And while it appears the heavy lifting was accomplished by scoring the touchdown, they're still down one. That extra point is not a gimme.
So here comes the kickoff now, all even here in this fourth quarter. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And he'll get it up past the 20 to the 22-yard line. And now out comes Minnesota. They've got work to do, but they do still have a bit of time here.
And they've got to feel comfortable with that, but they have all their play sequences called. If they get out of bounds, that allows them to huddle and call another play. But if they don't, it's hurry up to the line of scrimmage and either spike it and stop the clock or continue to move it downfield in order to try and get in range and win this game.
See if they can do just that. And a nice run past the 30-yard line there. Now hold everything here. We're going to get a timeout by the offense. It's just their first. They've got two more to use here in the final stages. Bryant, the lone receiver, left. To throw is Manning. And this is going to be intercepted. Picked off by Danny Trevathan. And they'll set up shop in enemy territory at the 45-yard line. The Saints coming out now to take the field. They can still get into field goal range, partner. They got to work quickly, though.
I agree with you totally. Find a way to get the ball downfield and out of bounds. In a perfect world, they know what hash they want to get to for their kicker, and they already know the distance that he feels comfortable. That'll dictate what they do on offense.
See if they can get in his range. He's going to fire one deep over the middle. And this is going to be intercepted. It's the former Patriot Devin McCourty. And he'll be stopped shy of the 15 at the 14-yard line on the return. The Vikings offense now heading out to take over. They have a little bit of time here to get into field goal range. Not much. In a tie game, you don't want to do anything crazy, right?
I agree with you on that one. Risk reward, okay? If you go for it, what is the absolute reward on this? But the risk is probably greater. Run the clock out, get to overtime, and try and win it there.
All right, we'll see if they do just that. And some changes here as the D-line separates some. Manning to throw. No, he almost had it. Already with one interception, just missing his second there. Third down here for the offense after the incomplete pass. This is Charles. Room here to run. And able to get this across the 20 before going out of bounds. It's a little teaching moment here. Overtime rules. Remind us how this goes, partner.
Okay, so in the past, we had sudden death. First team to score wins, but no longer. Now, if the team receives the ball, scores a touchdown, they win the game. If they kick a field goal, though, or don't score, the other team gets a possession. And after both teams get a possession, then we're into sudden death. First team to score wins the game.
And last year, that would have been a net gain of 5 on the return. This year, he stopped where he would have been if he had taken a knee, and that's at the 25. Out onto the field comes New Orleans. They're set for their first drive here in overtime, and this is where the crowd can really become a factor.
They've had to battle it all day, but I know what you're saying. In overtime, that gets doubled, doesn't it? At least, because now the crowd really wants to be involved and help their team. And that first drive can dictate the whole thing because they know if this team takes it downfield and scores a touchdown, it's game over.
It's been loud in here so far. They come out 5 wide, 3 of them to the right side. Breeze now to throw. Caught on the right side by Jones. And he's able to get out to the 32, brought down there.
In recent years, the slot receivers really gained stature in the NFL because they can do so many things. Yes, they can line up wide like your normal wide receiver, but to have that kind of courage and toughness to run routes in the middle of the field and become dependable targets for their quarterbacks and move the sticks, those guys are worth their weight in gold.
Escaping the pressure right. And he's got the completion to Hopkins. And he eventually goes down, but not before reaching the 30-yard line. They give him a gain of 38.
A lot of receivers see the drag route as a risk-reward type of a play. The risk, going into the middle of the field where there's some big people who want to hit you. But the reward is oftentimes you get lost in coverage, running a little bit underneath. And when you catch it just right, as we just saw there, the end result can be a big, big play.
And a catch right side by Evans. It'll be a pickup of just 2, and that'll make it a second down. One receiver to the left is Evans. Again, they'll throw with Breeze. He's going to hit his man out of the backfield, complete. And he's going to be out of bounds down inside the 20. Give him 11 yards that time and a new set of downs.
So many times you hear today's NFL described as a space game. Get your best players into space with the football in their hands. That's why sometimes you swing it out to your runner, get him out in the flat, and let him have a chance to make people miss an open field.
That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be second down.
To me, that's a superior play by the backer because he was allowed to, I think, run free on it and make that play. His defensive linemen, they covered things down for him because offensive guys, the linemen, what they're trying to do, as you know, is block the guy at the point of attack and then climb.
Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. The safety blitz turns out to be a great call defensively as they sack him for a loss of 9. Seventh play of this drive coming up, but a long way to go on third down. Play clock winding down. On third and long, it's Breeze. Oh, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Tremaine Johnson. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. And now out comes Minnesota. Their defense did its job, got the stop. All they need is 3, and this is over.
Couldn't have done much else other than score themselves and end it. But they turned it back over to him, and now all they need is a field goal to win the game. An excellent job by the defense. Can the offense finish things off?
Oh, and he will take this one home. It's a touchdown. Picked off by Danny Trevathan. Still catching our breaths from that electric finish. You get into overtime, that's one thing. It was a great 4 quarters. But then in OT, not only to win it, but to win it on a defensive score. Wow.
Oh, definitely. And I think from now on, we're going to definitely travel someone who could help us because I thought I was going to pass out at the end. Not just getting to the overtime, but the plays in overtime that led to this one, and to finish it on a defensive touchdown, a takeaway that gets into the end zone. I'm not rooting for anyone, but boy, I'd love to see games finish that way.
I'm Brandon Gaudin. Certainly have to thank Charles Davis, my broadcast partner, and our entire crew. We'll catch you next time right here. It's the NFL on EA Sports.